Alright guys, this is actually a video I've been wanting to make for a little while. Every now and then in my videos, I've kind of sneak peeked some of my favorite DC characters and all of DC superhero history. I've never actually made a video about my top 10 favorite DC characters. I've done a couple for movies, like favorite superhero films, favorite comic book films, more accurately. I've done other top 10s that I'll link in the description below. But let's hop in to my top 10 favorite DC characters. And of course, I'm going to start at number 10 and work my way up. Whereas a lot of you won't need to know what my number 1 is. I'm going to save it for the ending, but many of you already know who my number 1 character is. At number 10, I have Wonder Woman. I think a lot of respect needs to go towards Wonder Woman, and that's why she would fall on the top 10 of my list. Even if it is number 10, it doesn't matter. It's still really good. She is the queen of DC, and honestly, I think she might just be the queen of superheroes in general. Any superhero world, comic book world you can think of, one of the first female superheroes you will think of is Wonder Woman. And within all of the groups in DC, I have a soft spot for the Trinity, so just Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. I think the Trinity is one of the most prolific groups in all of superhero comic book history as well. Without Wonder Woman, it's not the Trinity anymore. And we all know that Wonder Woman is insanely powerful, but even in saying that, I think is a little ignorant to how powerful she actually is. I think a lot of people don't really take in how extremely powerful she can be, and honestly needs to be looked at on a level of Superman. She can stand tall with Superman. Would she lose to him? Eventually, yes. But she is that good, which then just means she can take on people either the level of a Man of Steel or even somewhat above her. I mean, she's on a multiversal level of power and strength on Superman's level once again. She's even been seen at one point in the comic books to have moved faster than the speed of light, which is crazy because we only know Superman and Flash to have been able to do something like that. And because she is half god and blessed by the gods, she is extremely intelligent, and her intellect is more than likely no less than a genius because of that. When people want to match up DC versus Marvel characters and vice versa, or even DC against DC characters or other fantasy and fiction characters, usually people want to look at lists of these characters and say, okay, who can this character beat? And I think for Wonder Woman, a list of who can she not beat is a much easier list to make, because Wonder Woman could essentially take on anyone she wanted. At number 9, I have Green Lantern, and to be more specific, I'm gonna cheat a little bit here. I'm throwing both of them as one spot. Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. I really can't choose between the two who I like more. I have a soft spot for Jon Stewart because of the DC animated cartoon, but I also have a soft spot for Hal Jordan because most of the comics I have read in my lifetime have dealt with Hal as the main Green Lantern. Also with Green Lantern, one of my favorite things about his character, and maybe you can actually view this as a separate character on his own, but I do love the Parallax storyline, and in general, I like the Lantern Corps, not just green, all of them, because I love space travel. That's one of my favorite things in life. It's the unknown of the universe, of our galaxy, of solar systems, planets, stars, black holes, all that stuff. And the Green Lantern Corps and the Lantern Corps in general in DC can give you sight into the universal aspects of comic books and superheroes. And how about the Green Lantern feats? What are they capable of? It's once again an easier list to make of what can't they do. They are cosmic level beings. They are insanely, extremely powerful. Who can they not beat is a more accurate question than who can they beat, because the list is a lot smaller. together. I like to compare the power levels of these characters to Superman because, in my opinion, Superman is the strongest comic book character ever made. He was literally made to be that. But Green Lanterns are so powerful that they can take on a Kryptonian. Green Lantern has knocked out Superman with a good punch before with that lantern ring. Inside of the ring is literally the power of the universe. Lanterns have powered cities with the ring alone. They've put planets back together. They can shield themselves from the power of like 50 nukes falling on them. Maybe I'm over exaggerating, but let's be honest here, it's comic books. I'm probably not. And maybe this is more so a parallax ability, but still related to the Lantern family. It was Hal Jordan at the end of the day. He's capable of bending reality and creating new universes, creating new dimensions. That's insane. There's no way I can make this top 10 list and not have a Green Lantern on there. At number 8, now this is a little interchangeable. There might be days where I like Green Lantern more than this character, and then there are days like today where I like this character more than Green Lantern. So at number 8, I've placed Doomsday. And I just simply like that Doomsday has no ulterior motive. He's not trying to gain anything personal. He has no vengeance or vendetta. He simply, or more accurately, it simply just does what it was meant to do, and that is to destroy, to kill, to wipe out any functioning, breathable, organic type of life until everything is rubble and ruin. What I love about Doomsday is he's simply immortal. You can't really do anything to kill him. And when you do kill him, he can never die by that same thing again. So if you were to nuke him, you can't kill him by a nuke ever again. If you were to kill him with kryptonite, he can't die by kryptonite again. He's just unstoppable. And there's really only two ways you can actually stop Doomsday, and one way is to put him in the Phantom Zone, which eventually one day he'd probably find his way out of. And number two is to take him to the future, literally the end of time, where it's inescapable, where not even death itself can escape from the end of time. How often is that going to happen? Sometimes within comic books, as much as you want to take the logic out of everything and really play around with the physics and the craziness of comic book and fictional worlds, sometimes you do have to throw a little bit of logic in there to set boundaries so characters aren't too insanely powerful or stories aren't too insanely ridiculous. So how often are you going to be able to bring Doomsday to the end of time? Even Doomsday's feats are insane. He's one of the only people who actually killed Superman. He ripped Plastic Man apart, and whereas that might not sound insane, Plastic Man is another DC character that I don't think people understand. He's nearly unstoppable as well. And with little to no effort, Doomsday pulled him apart and killed him. And amongst all his other feats, probably the biggest one he's ever done is he's actually defeated Darkseid. He beat Darkseid on a one-on-one, and when he was zapped by Darkseid's Omega Beams, Doomsday literally shook it off as if it was nothing. Doomsday is not someone you look at and you say, oh, okay, he's beatable in this sense or in this sense. And I know a lot of people always match up the Hulk against Doomsday, who would win. It's Doomsday, no question. Hulk would not stand a chance. But mainly because of how aggressive yet simple his character is. I kind of like that about him. And you don't need to dig deep into a character who just wants to destroy things. You can literally use him as an action piece. And I've always liked Doomsday for that. At number 7, I put The Flash, but very specifically Wally West. I do like Barry Allen. I even like Jay Garrick. But Wally West is my favorite, and maybe that is because, once again, I grew up with the DC animated cartoon, and that is why Wally West Flash is imprinted in my brain to be the main Flash, even though mainstream media has it as Barry Allen. But for me, it's always going to be Wally. In my opinion, Wally West is the Flash that every Flash in history in the multiverse in existence should look at and say, that is the Flash we should be. This is the Flash that all other Flashes should look up to. Even in the mainstream continuities, Barry Allen is always the first Flash, and then the mantle eventually will go to Wally West. And I always believe that even Barry Allen would one day look at Wally and say, I'm a good Flash. But Wally West is the embodiment of the Flash. That's why I like him so much. That's what I've always believed him to be. Now, what's really interesting about Wally West is I believe him to be a top 3 most powerful character in comic book history. I think Wally is so unbelievably powerful. He is one of the very, very, very few people on a slim list who could beat Superman. Let alone as Kid Flash when he was younger. He could run around the planet 7 times in 1 second. At full potential, he could probably outrun Barry Allen and Superman with no effort. Pre-Crisis, he ran so damn fast that 1, he evaded the implosion of the universe, and 2, moved so fast that light could not keep up with him. He has literally outrun the Speed Force. I could keep going into how ridiculously quick he is, which is a vast understatement. Using the terms ridiculously quick, it means nothing to how fast he actually is. But Wally West, easily top 10 character. At number 6, I'm placing Dr. Fate. Now, a very interesting reason Dr. Fate is in my top 10. When I was younger, a big reason I liked him was simply his costume. I loved the blue and gold, and I think I have a direct reason why I like that so much. As some of you may know, I am a Los Angeles Rams fan, and at the time, the Rams were in St. Louis, and they were using their blue and gold uniforms, which is probably why I liked Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate is also an interesting character for me because in the DC universe, the magic wielders are one of my lowest points of not interest, but knowledge. I don't know much about the magic world. I've never really been into the magic world in DC, and still, Dr. Fate finds a place in my top 10. Like, Dr. Fate's helmet alone homes a universe. And if that helmet is ever crushed or destroyed, it can simply just reform and fix itself. When Dr. Fate has fights with other cosmic level beings, he's so powerful that his presence can be felt throughout the entire multiverse. Dr. Fate, given the right circumstances of a situation, can simply give you whatever you want. He can bring people back from the dead. He's controlled beings so vast, so immense, so powerful that it makes characters like Galactus look small. He is another character who, at the end of the day, when you look at the top 10 most powerful comic book characters of all time, he's probably gonna find his place on that list. Now, to get into the top 5, and starting at number 5, I have the Joker. I think the Joker is a very important to DC because of everything he offers to the fandom. So many people like myself love Batman, love the Batman world, but at the end of the day, there is no Batman without Joker, which also means there is no Joker without Batman. They are two sides of the same coin. The Joker is such an intriguing character because there's so much we just don't know about him, which is what keeps a lot of mystery about him. And when he's dealt with as a threat, you still don't know what his motive is. You still don't know what he's got up his sleeve, what he's got planned. That doesn't just make him dangerous, that adds to what I just said. The mystery behind the Joker is so intriguing. You look at the Joker and you think to yourself, this is something a mid-rate detective in a police department should be able to figure out. Then the more you get to know the Joker, you think, oh my god, his intellect is so vastly superior that he could even take on Lex Luthor, which he has done multiple times. Joker has been a multiversal threat in comic book histories before. He's destroyed multiverses, let alone right now the Batman Who Laughs, a very popular character. Even though that is Bruce Wayne, he is still technically the embodiment of the Joker. Whether or not you like it, during the time where DC Comics was saying that there have actually been 3 different Jokers throughout history, he still has been capable in fooling the greatest detective in the world, Batman, the Dark Knight, into not even knowing that throughout history, he's dealt with 3 different variations of the Joker, each more menacing and deadlier than the last. Joker is so sadistic and cruel that he's even put Batman, Bruce Wayne, into states of mental decay. He's destroyed the way Batman has seen certain things over time. And one of my favorite things about the Joker is we all know the relationship he has with Batman, but how about the relationship with the rest of the Justice League? That's actually something I want to see more of in the future. I would love to see the Joker deal with other heroes part of the league. I'd like to see him mess around with a Wonder Woman, a Superman, the Flash, so they can all feel the torment that Batman has to go through every time he deals with him. Joker, in my opinion, and I think many people would share this as well, is a top 3 villain of all time in anything. All genres. The number 1 villain is more than likely Darth Vader. Number 2, I'm gonna say, is the Joker. He's a top 2 villain of all time. You could even argue he might be number 1. Even though a lot of me wants to say he would be number 1, I do respect Vader so much that he is number 1, but Joker is right there. And that's why he's number 5 for me. At number 4, I put the embodiment of all superheroes in superhero history, the Man of Steel. Superman is so important to this culture. Without him, we might not have superheroes. I almost debated putting Superman in my top 3, but there are just 3 other characters that I do absolutely love in the DC universe. But Superman still deserves an undeniable amount of respect. Superman is also a very interesting character because he is the embodiment of belief and hope. And whereas sometimes hope can be blind and it doesn't really mean anything, the beautiful thing about Superman is that he still believes in the good. He still believes that there is a chance that his belief will actually happen. And sometimes, especially in the darkest moments, you do need that belief system and that hope. And that's what Superman is always there for. Basically talking about how beautiful the character of Superman truly is. I'm not gonna lie, I like Dark Superman too. Evil Superman is awesome because essentially an evil Superman is unbeatable. At least with good Superman, the Superman we all grew up with, is somewhat beatable because he holds back, even though at the end of the day, he comes back stronger and always wins. An evil Superman, you don't really have a buffer anymore. I know a lot of people are kind of tired of the overplayed evil Superman we've seen in media over the past couple of years. I'm not, though. I still always get intrigued when Superman is a bad guy, whether he chooses to be, it's an alternate dimension of him, or he's being brainwashed in some way. I always liked it, always will. And I do want to get into the feats of Superman, but if I did, there would be no stopping. Superman's feats are so wildly outlandish that when you look at them, you think to yourself, okay, who can accomplish this other than him? And the answer is no one. He's insane. Even though Superman has done things that other superheroes will never be able to do in comic books, because a lot of the crazy things that happen belong to Superman. You think to yourself, who can do this? Oh, we're not going to make Batman or Aquaman or Green Lantern do it. We're going to make Superman do it. So even though Superman is known for being multiversal, cosmic, past the ranges of what a god could do, you look at Superman and you think, The reason why he's so important is because he's not just doing stuff like that on a daily basis. His greatest feat is protecting those who cannot protect themselves. All right, now entering my top 3. At number 3, I have placed Deathstroke. 2 big reasons why I love the character is, number 1, I simply just like his getup. I like his suit, I like his weapons, I love the way he looks. And number 2, he is just if Batman was a mercenary. He is a more ruthless Batman in his actions. When I think about if I were to make a DC universe through film, if I was to make my version of the DCU, Batman and Deathstroke would be so in tune with their tech, their abilities, their mindset, whatever it may be. Deathstroke would be the only threat to Batman and vice versa. They've become so intelligent and so powerful in their own right that they are the only ones who can challenge each other because they are the only ones who know each other so damn well. When I think of Deathstroke, I think of a guy who, just like Batman, can defeat anybody he wants. It does not matter what power level you are. It does not matter where you came from in the universe. As long as he knows you and you give him enough time to prepare, which they will get. That is literally their character. That is how they are both written. They will beat you. He's done what Batman has done before. He has beaten the Justice League by himself. He has a Hellbat suit of his own where he can replicate the abilities of other characters called the Icon suit. He has stolen speed from the Speed Force. He has eaten punches from Superman in that suit. And let's not forget, Deathstroke does possess superhuman strength. He is my evil Batman, and I love it. That's why he's number 3. At number 2, people may be surprised about this one, not too sure, but I do have Darkseid. Darkseid is my favorite villain of all time in DC and comic books. I absolutely love everything about his character, his motive, just his traits and abilities and personalities, the way he handles himself. Given the right writers and the right directors, if you were to utilize him in a DCU properly, the way they used Thanos or any other massive type of villain in fantasy, like Sauron, Lord of the Rings, Darth Vader, Star Wars, I think you could make Darkseid such a compelling villain that it might make people say, oh, we might have to put him on a top 10 of best villains of all time. At one point, a lot of people would categorize Darkseid as a Superman villain, and still, I think you can somewhat do that. I think he is more so of a Justice League villain. He is a threat to everybody. That is how powerful he is. Once again, using the term powerful for Superman and Darkseid and so many of these other characters I've mentioned on my list so far, it's a little disgraceful to use powerful for these characters. They are so insanely above powerful that it can't even describe the type of feats they can obtain. I will say this for the 3rd time. If I were to go into the feats of Darkseid, this video would never end, but the guy is capable of literally anything. If you have Superman, the most powerful superhero ever created, Darkseid needs to be the most powerful villain ever created. He has super speed, super strength, omega beams, which can literally tear anything away from existence. He's been known to move faster than the Flash at certain points. He can fly. He can teleport with the boom tubes. And the biggest one of them all, he has the anti-life equation, which is one of the most unstoppable forces of energy in the entire DC universe multiverse. And not only can Darkseid pretty much solo fictional universes, he can also eat universes. And he's also billions upon billions of years old, so yeah, he's pretty awesome. And then, number 1, my favorite character of the DC universe, my favorite character of comic history, my favorite character of pop culture, my favorite character in entertainment, my favorite thing to ever exist in the universe and the multiversal universe is Batman. Now, I'm not gonna dive deep into the Batman character because most of you here know how much I love Batman. Most of you here have seen what's on my channel. Nearly 50, 60, 70% of my content is Batman related. And I have made tons of videos why Batman is such an important character to me, why he means so much to me. I even have a video on the channel talking about why Batman is one of the most respected characters in entertainment history. So all those videos speak for itself. I'm not going to waste too much time rambling on things I've said in the past before. Also, I don't want many of you who do know that Batman is my favorite to have to sit here and say, oh, here we go again. So I'll leave it at that. So just a quick rundown of my favorite characters in DC history. From 10 to 1, it goes Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Hal and John, Doomsday, Flash, Wally West, Dr. Fate, the Joker, Superman, Deathstroke, Darkseid, and Batman. So there you have it, my top 10 characters. And now, of course, as always, it is your turn in the comments below to let me know your top 10 characters or to let me know what you think of my list. Once again, this is all opinion based. There is no right or wrong to my choices or your choices. Now, if you guys do want me to make a part 2 to this list, I actually do have 25 of my top characters all listed out right in front of me right here. So if you guys want to see my list from 11 to 20, I can make a video detailing that as well. But that's all I got for you on this video, guys. And just like usual, I will talk to you all very soon.